Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Bold Real Estate Investing. I'm your co-host, Chris Angel, here with your host, entrepreneur. Can I call you an entrepreneur, Bill?
Absolutely.
Multiple times. And real estate investor, Bill Dean. Bill, today we're talking about how do we find our real estate investing niche? What does that mean to find our niche?
Well, really what it's boiling down to is, what are you comfortable doing? What do you want to learn about? And where do you actually bring value to the investing process?
I love that.
Because we all have different gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Some people are just fantastic meeting people and communicating. Some people are fantastic analyzers. They can sit and look at all the data, pull it in, and spit out numbers faster than most. And some people just are good with labor.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, everyone has different niche or things that they're good at. And in the real estate, there is room for everybody, really.
That's good.
So it's just finding what you're good at, what you're comfortable with doing.
I know, this can get all the way down into like the kind of properties that you buy. Like I've been really curious lately about Airbnbs and having, that as a particular niche.
Yes.
I love that idea.
So as a little teaser for something we'll talk about down the road.
Yeah.
If you do Airbnb, sometimes you can quintuple your profit per month on a property.
Yeah, sign me up for that course, Bill. When is that course coming out?
Fun.
Bill, when is that course coming out? I want that course.
Well, episode 17.
All right, good. Nice. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Well, but that's totally an example of a niche, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's so many niches. I mean,
yeah.
We could get off on a lot of different things on this, but I'm going to start where I started and where most people start.
All right, good.
Hey, I want to get into real estate investing. A lot of people actually start because they bought a house, their first house. It was the most they could afford. It's been 5 to 7 years, 10 years. And they're like, hey, we want to buy another house, but we're making more money.
Right.
Invested right. We don't really need to sell our house to get the next house.
Right.
So they just go buy another house.
Yep.
And turn their first one into a rental.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a natural way of doing it. There's no
that's what we did. We had a property. It was our first house we bought. Although I don't think we did it well because we didn't have any reserves. And so what happened, and we because we wanted it was right when the market shifted down as well. And we ended up doing like low income. It was like a section something or other, or title something. I can't remember what it was. And
Section 8.
Yeah, Section 8. There you go. And so it felt good because it was guaranteed, but it was less than normal market value on the rent. And when that renter left, my property management company couldn't fill that vacancy for 3 months. So 90 days, and we didn't have reserves. So what happened was we got behind in our mortgage payments, right? And it was, the bank would have done it anyway, but it was the heyday of when banks wanted to like put you in a foreclosure.
Yep.
We ended up losing the property eventually. So because we weren't prepared. We weren't prepared to make that move. So what are some, and maybe this is beyond the scope of this, but you mentioned it. So it made me think of that. Like, sometimes picking your niche, there are some steps you can do to actually be prepared for that niche.
Yeah. Well, taking the most common route where you use your own house as a rental. I mean, you're stepping into maintenance, you're stepping into landlording, you're stepping into, in essence, advertising, marketing. And then you're also facilitating who's going in there. So you're doing background checks. And at the same time, you might be updating the house, or you're cleaning the house when they're done and repainting. I mean, when you have your own property, you're doing everything.
Right.
And you'll find pretty fast, can you handle taking a 10 o'clock phone call because the toilet's overflowing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So most people... that drives them crazy.
I would imagine like if there was just a little bit of, and maybe this is where experience, like if I were doing it over again, I would find somebody like you who has experience in investing and I don't. And I would say, this is what I'm thinking about my niche. What am I not thinking of? What am I missing? Right? Where you're able to kind of cast some vision of overflowing toilets and other things that could go wrong. In order for me to determine what my niche really needs to be like, I'm like, oh no, I don't want to do that.
Okay. Well, one is time. Time is going to dictate a lot. Time and money. So
yeah, okay.
Have like, if you are making fantastic money doing what you're doing, but you just want to put some of your money to work, then landlording is not really going to be your niche.
Yeah.
Spending the time to do open houses and show apartments is probably going to cost you money. So that kind of eliminates some of those processes. Versus if you don't have money, you're probably going to be able to do a lot of this stuff yourself, because it's not costing you any money to stand there and show the house. And if you're handy, you're going to save money actually, but it's just.
What if I'm not handy? What if I don't have money, Bill? I don't have money. I don't have a ton of money and I'm not handy. Then what niche am I left with? Can I invest, or am I out of luck?
No, you still can invest.
Okay. What niche would that be?
Well, if I want to say it really simple, that's where we talk about wholesaling.
Oh, okay.
Helping other investors. So there's a whole category of people who maybe have $1,000.
Yeah.
Max. And they just spend their time watching the classified ads and driving around towns and cities, finding for sale by owners, calling them, hey, house is for sale. What do you want? And they've been paying attention, like, ooh, this house is actually a really good buy. Sweet. Let me buy this at this price. And they'll probably even negotiate it down. And then they just turn around, take that contract and sell that contract for $5,000, $10,000, $50,000.
Right.
And
that's bird dogging, right? You mentioned that in a previous episode.
So all they do is they find good deals and turn around to an actual investor or someone who wants properties to rent and say, hey, I have this locked up. You can have it. I just want my normal fee, $5,000. Okay.
That wouldn't be a niche you'd want. Well, I guess some people might, but I was gonna say I would want to do that type of niche work for a small amount of time in order to build some capital.
That is exactly it. Because in essence, that's a job. That really is a job.
Yeah, right.
Because it does not continually flow.
But maybe the added benefit to that job is that you actually get to see some inventory and you get some experience along the way. But
you're learning the market. You're learning some of the power team members. But if let's say you have that property, you bought the next house, you're house rich and cash poor because you bought that other house, you're keeping the one as a rental.
Yeah.
Even then, there are handymen around. Like your parents, your friends probably have that guy who, he drives a rickety old truck, but he'll come, he's retired, he'll come and work on stuff for you. Like you can find those people still. Otherwise, honestly, this is the age of YouTube. Just look up how to do it. Like, don't do electrical work ever, period.
Right.
But it's like, okay, turn off the water main, call a plumber.
Yep. Yeah. I fixed my toilet twice in my own house. That was pretty good. I'm not very handy, but YouTube saved the day for me on that one for sure.
Yeah, no, it's amazing what's out there now, even versus when I started getting into it. But really, niche is just what part are you comfortable with? So if the thrill of finding the deal is for you, you could be a valuable asset to someone who has the construction crews going, but they don't have the time to go find more properties. They're running their crews. So they'd be a good partner. Or you can talk to the big property management companies in your area and say, hey, anytime someone's selling off one of their rentals, let me know.
Right.
Because maybe they'll do something special, like a contract for deed or something like that a lawyer could help you write the paperwork. But,
that makes me think of sometimes maybe another way to say finding your niche. Because I think when I first think about the phrase find your niche, I think of what properties excite me? And I'm like, oh, Airbnb would be great. But if I actually think about what value am I bringing to this transaction? Like if I'm not handy and I don't have time and I don't have money and I'm not really interested in doing the work, I mean, pretty soon, I don't have anything to offer. Even if I could partner with somebody, I don't have much to offer. I'm not willing to offer anything. So I think you have to figure out also what am I willing to do, or what can I offer to this process to be a valuable part of the investment? Yes? No?
Yes. So, I mean, if we're going to really go, we're going to dive deep for a second.
Okay, good.
But sales is just a transference of emotions.
Right.
Like that, I truly believe it. You walk into Best Buy for wash and dry, you're like, great, I have to spend money. But when you leave, you're like, oh man, this washer and dryer is gonna be sweet.
Yeah. I love this washer dryer.
You got excited over something that washes your dirty laundry. Like,
right.
Salesmen did their job.
Yeah.
And honestly, this sounds crazy, but sometimes just being excited is enough.
Okay. Okay.
Because
I would not have thought that. I would not thought that was your answer. Because why?
Well, let's face it. Houses are insulated boxes.
Yep. Okay.
That's really all they are.
Okay.
They're just insulated boxes. Now, you see what it could be. You know, it's a single family house. Well, you know, maybe it could be converted to a duplex, or maybe it's a duplex that could be converted to a single family, but then we could have it as a retirement setup or a 55 plus and get a travel nurse. And all of a sudden, like, oh man, it could go from producing $800 a month to producing $4,000 a month.
Wow.
Like, things start changing. And so even if you can just figure out the changes, because there's what the house physically is, but there's what can you do to it, and having that vision will help people too. But
that's so good, because I wasn't thinking of that, and that's still bringing value to the transaction, to the investment. Like, you've got to, that is the value that you bring. And if you know that, I think then inside of that is your niche. Like, if you know, like, okay, this is the value I bring, then you go, okay, this is my niche. Now I can find a niche of property, like first time rentals, duplexes, Airbnbs, but that's the kind of property is my niche. And then there's like who I am in the process is also my niche.
So you are totally right. There is kind of like a double statement there with what's your niche, because like my personal area I am in, my niche is 1 to 4 single family to 4 unit family investment properties. But what I bring to the table then is creative financing to get these properties and then maintaining them at this point. But the nice thing with these niches is that they change over time.
Right.
So don't think just because you're a handyman that you're going to have to work on your properties the rest of your life. And,
unless you
these
like
things
that.
can change.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Because as you get more experience, you're going to be able to do more things, and you're going to be able to benefit more people.
So good. Bill, this is a great episode, man. I love that we actually stumbled into some extra meaning behind the niche. If people want to kind of reach out to you and pick your brain about what their niche could be, or how to break into the market, how can they reach out to you? How can they find you?
All right. Well, check out my website, BillDeanHomes.com. They'll see some of my blogs there, but at the same time, they can just click on the contact me, write me a message. My phone number is on there, my email. So just reach out. Don't be afraid.
I love it. Yes, guys, listen, you got to reach out. It's got to start with the conversation. And the more you submerge yourself in conversations with other people doing the work, like, the easier it's going to be for you. So, Bill, thanks again for your wisdom and your expertise. We'll catch you in the next episode.
All right. See you then.